Hey guys, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host Jenna, and this is our daily show giving you all the latest news from the world of movies, plus insight into what it all means. And joining me as always is AMC Editor-in-Chief John Campia.
You know, one of the burdens of being me
boy. Boo,
is that it falls upon me to educate you, the unwashed masses, and those of you, I'm referring specifically, those of you who had the audacity to speak out against my praise of the Ewoks the other day. The Ewoks are hunting, flesh-eating, head-hunting, savage beasts that dethrone the Empire single-handedly. How dare you speak out against the Ewoks? I will educate you all. You will be enlightened. I am here to save you.
Okay, and also joining us.
Is it possible to get negative YouTube views on a video? It just happened.
And also joining us is the senior editor of Rotten Tomatoes, Gray Drake.
Hello.
I swear, girl, you have the coolest name in the entire world.
Thank you very much. I think I've been told it's a supervillain name.
It is.
Which would explain the necklace. I love that necklace, by the way.
It is. It's skulls. And it is, like I was saying earlier, it's the shrunken heads of my enemies. And people who are mean to me in the YouTube comments.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, it's an all mailbag day today. Matt Purdy writes, I recently discovered your show and have been listening every day since. I recently heard they were going to start working on a Dumb and Dumber sequel with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels returning. Have you heard any updates on this, and do you think it's a good idea? Personally, I can see them easily slipping back into these roles, but I'm also wondering if too much time has passed.
You know what? The has too much time passed is a worry that did enter in my head too when I first heard that they're going to try Dumb and Dumber again. But then I watched the movie again. This movie is so good. I'll be honest with you. I'm not worried about Jeff Daniels. I'm not worried about Jim Carrey.
They don't worry about you either.
I think I'm more worried about the Farrelly brothers because, you know, their last two films, like The Three Stooges and Movie 43, which is so legendarily bad.
Yeah. Three Stooges I'll stand up for.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was sober and that movie was fun.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never talked to anybody that liked it.
Here's what I'll say. I'll say.
And you're a smart person, so that's why I'm exceptionally surprised right now.
Thank you for saying so. I'll say movie 43 and Hall Pass.
Yeah.
I will not speak ill of the Stooges. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, so personally, when I look at the film itself and the idea of these guys coming back to reprise these roles finally, I'm completely on board for it. I'm not worried about it at all, actually.
I'm a little worried that it took me forever to understand the title of the movie, which is Dumb and Dumber 2. T.O.
Yes.
And I was like, that's so dumb. They just put a number after it. So that upset me. But I hear that it's about their search for a kidney.
Yeah, I thought it was for a kid.
Knee.
Oh, a kidney from one of their kids, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, that's right. Kid knee.
Wow. And so I love that idea because I think that there's like the first 15 minutes of the movie is going to be them trying to figure out what a kidney actually is. So I think it's going to be funny. I was really worried about this. We talked about this on the show quite some time ago, and I was sort of a naysayer, but I've turned my mind around on it. And also because Jim Carrey's really good in Wonderstone, and it's so nice to see him in a comedy that is being his usual wonderful self.
Yeah.
So I'm on board. Dumb and Dumber T.O.
And just stackpiling on the whole Jim Carrey thing, he's also wonderful in that Kick-Ass 2 trailer. So this is the year of Jim Carrey. Year of Jim Carrey. All right, what do we got next?
Tyler Carrett writes, hey guys, I absolutely love the show, can't stop watching it. Since we've seen Chris Evans twice in the role of the Human Torch and now in his third movie as Captain America, if the Fantastic Four and the Avengers were to have a movie together, which superhero do you think he would pick? I personally think Cap, and who do you think would be a possible great actor to take the role as the Human Torch, since he obviously wouldn't be able to do both? Love y'all.
It's got to be Captain America. It has to be for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're rebooting Fantastic Four. In case you didn't know, the director of Chronicle has been brought on.
Josh
Matthew
Trank,
Vaughn,
nice.
yes, is going to be directing the reboot of Fantastic Four. Matthew Vaughn, producer of and director of X-Men First Class, is going to be producing the new Fantastic Four. They haven't announced any of the new cast, but Chris Evans obviously won't be there. So obviously he'd be Captain America. I think he's great in the role. As far as who I think could replace Human Torch, I really like Colin Donnell. I believe is his name.
Okay,
right
no
now,
one knows who that is.
Yeah, I know. He is right now. He's in the new TV show Arrow, and he plays Arrow's best friend. He plays Oliver Queen's best friend. And I remember the first time I saw him, I thought, hey, this guy could be a Human Torch. And so that would be my pick. What do you think about this whole Chris Evans fiasco?
Well, you're right. He's going to be Captain America for sure. Because Chris Evans now, like all of those actors are stuck in those roles because Avengers is so good that they can't do anything else now. Like, that's them forever. They've signed away their firstborns, all that. And an actor that might be Human Torch. I had a crazy idea that came to me in what I consider to be like some kind of fever dream. Ryan Gosling. Just think about.
No, I think you're right.
What, like, we would be instantly fascinated by, like, hey, girl, I'm going to set myself on fire for you. Like, right? Maybe. And I know that he's not I don't think there's any chance of that happening in the world. I just am saying.
I think it's an interesting pick.
Thank you.
All right, what's next?
Arthur Jean Remy writes, hey guys, I've been watching your show for a while now, and you guys are my new YouTube sensation.
Woo!
I'm not much of a fan of the DC universe, except for Superman and Batman, but there are two DC characters that I'd like to see a live-action movie of. Static Shock and Batman Beyond. I think they both have great potential, especially Batman Beyond as a TV show. What do you think?
I'll be honest with you right front. I don't know much about Static Shock other than I've heard it a few times, so I've got to disqualify myself from that.
Let me tell you, his arch enemy is the bounce dryer sheets. Right? Like, that's all you need to know.
Or what's that little teddy bear he's a mascot for?
Snuggle.
Snuggle teddy. That's the big arch nemesis.
I don't actually know a whole lot either, but I had an idea that Michael B. Jordan would be awesome as him. Michael B. Jordan, he was in Chronicle. He was in this great Sundance movie, and the name just escaped me. Fruitvale, I want to say.
I'm unfamiliar with it.
So Google him, IMDb him. He's an up-and-comer, and if a movie like that were to get made, he would be perfect.
Right, but
he's got sass.
Batman Beyond is a topic that comes up here a lot, and I say this a lot. Nobody likes it when I say this, but it's the truth. Nobody knows Batman Beyond. What we do is we have a segment of us who do know Batman Beyond, and all of our friends know what Batman Beyond is, and the future of Bruce Wayne, and this younger kid takes over, and it's set. We all know it, but we have this misconception that because we know it and our friends know it, that means everybody does. But I guarantee you, we're at the AMC Burbank 16 in Burbank, California right now. If I walked out there, grabbed 40 random people on the platform, 30 out of the 40 wouldn't know what Batman Beyond is. The show didn't last very long. It was a very short-lived show, and while it's a really cool, creative idea, I don't think movie-going audiences want to see a Batman that isn't Bruce Wayne. I just don't think it could work.
I concur.
What's next?
Nicholas Rancourt writes, hey guys, thanks for doing the show daily. It keeps me informed about the movie world. Anyway, my question is, Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that with Disney buying Lucasfilm, episodes 7, 8, and 9 would be made. She also said that spin-off films would be produced every 2 to 3 years after the sequel trilogy. What subject do you think these spin-off movies could be about?
The independent contractors working on the Death Star. We need to hear that story. It is so important to all of us.
And the movie will be called Double Our Efforts. That will be the name of the movie. Double Our Efforts.
I mean, we're getting all of the Star Wars characters basically now in the spin-offs.
It seems like, okay, first of all, I think, if I could be wrong about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they're going to do spin-off movies after the trilogy. I believe they're going to start doing spin-off movies in between the trilogy films. So I think we're going to get Episode 7, spin-off film, Episode 8, spin-off film, Episode 9. I believe that's the way they're doing it. I could be wrong. I said this before, I'll say it again, I don't want to see a Yoda movie. I don't want to see a prequel Han Solo movie. I don't want any more Star Wars prequels. I'm done with Star Wars prequels. I just want to move forward. Have older Luke, Han, and Leia there, but have it a progressed story. Make it about their kids, whatever. I don't want any more prequels. Greg?
Why has no one mentioned Billy D. Williams and all of this nonsense?
Yes.
Because as I was saying last week, we're setting ourselves up for huge disappointment because we're talking about Star Wars too much. So, having said that again, thank you for listening. Lando Calrissian, why is he not being discussed? Billy D. I want more. But I mean, we're getting everybody now. So it's like, even when you go to episode 1 and you watch like in the big meeting scene where you have like the wobbly head guy, look it up, it's hilarious. We're gonna get that guy's movie. Like they're just gonna make a ton of things, and I think that that's a smart move. because as we saw with Avengers, like giving us these stories and then releasing the actual movies that we already know we want to see means better movies, more box office, everybody wins.
All right.
Kim Banner writes, "Hey guys, my boyfriend and I started watching the show over a week ago.
Romantic.
And it has now become a nightly tradition for us to watch
Oh,
every
a nightly
night."
tradition because everybody knows John Campia's voice is a natural aphrodisiac.
Okay. It has become a nightly tradition for us to watch every night before going to sleep. The show is always interesting and insightful. I have to say, I completely agree with you, John. Ewoks rock.
Wise woman. Wise.
I was wondering about the new X-Men Days of Future Past movie. Growing up, I was a huge fan of the X-Men cartoon, and one of my favorite villains was always the Sentinels. I've heard a rumor that hints the Sentinels are going to be showing their ugly faces in the new movie. Yay! Do you know if there's any truth to this?
So judgmental. Sentinels are ugly. Jeez. Well, all right. I don't want to get on your bad side. That is the rumor. Like, that's what Matthew Vaughn has been talking about. And he's sort of been quoted a lot of times as going just blah, blah, blah about a lot of things in X-Men. And he's brought up the Sentinels. So I think it's a really solid, there's a super solid chance that that's how it's going to go. Plus, why just have one villain or a few when you've got an entire army of ugly ones, according to you? So, you know, so I think it's a good idea for sure.
Yeah, and don't forget, they showed us the Sentinels before, right? In the big, I think it's the opening scene of X-Men 3 in the Danger Room when Wolverine cuts off the head of a Sentinel.
Those don't count anymore, though, right?
Oh, that's pretty true. Yeah, you're right. But the other rumor is that Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, Emmy Award-winning Peter Dinklage, by the way. The last rumor I heard, and this isn't verified, so I don't know if it's true, but is that he may be playing the creator of the Sentinels. If that's true, that just bolsters what Gray is saying, that, yeah, they're probably going to be there. I think they will be.
Wow, the creator of the Sentinels. That makes sense when you think about his role in Elf. How angry he was. How angry. Angry little man. Angry.
Adam T writes, "Hey guys, huge fan of the show. I watch it all the time, so keep up the great work."
Yeah, but before bed?
Nope.
That's the standard now.
I have recently started watching the show Arrow and have noticed many similarities between it and Batman. Both ordinary billionaires who lose their fathers.
Ordinary billionaires, you know, billionaires. Everywhere you go.
Who are separated from society to become something greater and sneak off to fight those who are bringing harm to their city. Do you think that Arrow will have a similar success as TDK trilogy, or where do you envision it going?
I think Arrow is one of the 5 or 6 shows I watch on television. And I really like it. I thought that show was going to suck, but because it's comic booky, I had to give it a chance. And it's great. It's a really, really great show. I love the cast on it. I love the storylines they're doing. I love the pace and the tempo. But I don't think, much like everything else CW does, number one, I don't think they have any plans to go movie with it, like they do with the Dark Knight. So I think it's always just going to be on television. But the other thing is, once again, me and my friends watch Arrow, and I think it's ranked at like number 80 on the television rankings right now. There's not a big enough audience to go movie route, but it's a big enough audience to have a nice, successful little, TV show, and it's great, but I don't think you're going to see Batman with it.
The only time that you see a movie come from a television show is when the show is canceled, the fans get angry, and then donate $20 to the Kickstarter project. So it's just going to stay a TV show, which is generally, I think, a much better idea for any rich comic book world, because there are more stories and more things that unfold. You can actually get to know the characters, because you can do a hell of a lot more, it stands to reason, in 26 episodes a season, versus just 2 hours.
Right.
So
Dino Falabrino writes, "Hey guys, first off..."
Dino Falabrino, that's the best name ever. That's
if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm not sure. But okay. First off, I want to say I love the show. I look forward to watching it every night.
Yes!
So keep up the good work. One of my favorite movies of all time is the Austin Powers series. Mine too. All 3 are just hilarious. I was wondering if you guys knew any information about the development of a 4th Austin Powers movie.
You are a kind, wonderful spirit that if you love all 3 of the Austin Powers movies, you're an optimist and a darling, darling heart person, and I just love you to pieces.
One of my all-time favorite lines from any Austin Powers movie was actually Michael Caine saying, "There are 2 things in this world that I cannot tolerate. 1, those who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and 2, the Dutch." It's one of my all-time favorite lines from any Austin Powers film. Actually, yeah, Mike Myers is working on the script. Actually, I think I might have heard he's finished his script, but that's as far as it's gone so far. There's still no director attached, no dates announced or anything like that.
Yeah,
but I believe it's safe to say it's coming.
This is question mark on IMDb. So which means that it's going to happen. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that he has been saving every single funny thing that's happened since, the last movie and just is going to put it in this script because I am less of a fan as the movies continue.
True.
So I'm just hoping that he's like reinvigorated. Maybe he's been doing yoga or something and the script is going to just knock our socks off.
I just... my fandom of Michael Myers took such a hit when The Love Guru came out. That movie was so monumentally bad. Now, fortunately, then I had to go back and watch So I Married an Axe Murderer again, and that renewed my love for Mike Myers again. But yeah, this has got to be good. It has to be good, so hopefully we're going to see something special.
Matt Davis writes, "Hey guys, love the show. Just started watching it. I was wondering what your thoughts are for the previously announced National Lampoon's Vacation reboot. It was also stated that they are going to try and get some of the original cast back. What are your thoughts on it?"
It is happening. Actually, Burt Wonderstone, which is opening this weekend in AMC theaters everywhere, heading over to amctheaters.com for your theater showtime and ticket information right now. But the guys who wrote Burt Wonderstone are actually writing and directing the reboot. And it's not really a reboot.
Really?
It's a sequel because what's happening is the movie is going to be about Rusty Griswold, all grown up, and he's going to be played by Ed Helms from The Office and the Hangover films. And yes, they are reaching out and trying to get original cast members back. I hear Chevy Chase has some
what
free
is
time.
Beverly D'Angelo doing? Let's be honest. She's fantastic, but I think that she's just busy polishing her floors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's that commercial? She's in a line of commercials right now. I think it's an Old Navy. Yeah, she's in a series of Old Navy commercials too.
Oh, okay. Where
but-
good actors go to die.
And with Chevy Chase leaving, what's the show he's
Community.
on? Community. He's got lots of free time
Right.
too. So I believe you're going to see all of it, but it's going to center around Ed Helms as Rusty.
Fun.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Douglas Futrell writes, "Hey guys, I dig the show and can't get enough of it each day. The question I have is this: do you think it is possible that Pepper Potts gets her own suit in this movie? Also, in the second trailer, it shows Tony Stark at his Malibu home after it was destroyed. Is it possible Pepper Potts will die in this movie?"
Oh my God, is it possible? And I look at that poster of sad Gwyneth Paltrow and I just get nervous because I love her in these movies. And this Iron Man 3 seems to be darker. The other one's like, oh, this is happy-go-lucky Robert Downey Jr. And the second one, I thought it worked less well. So this is Shane Black. This is for realsies, yo. So therefore, I think some messed up stuff is going to happen to our girl Gwynny.
I think we might have actually talked about this very topic 4 months ago when the first Iron Man trailer came out, and I said it then. I really do think she's gonna. I have not. That's not a spoiler because I have not heard that she is. This is just me speculating. But I believe she's gonna die in this movie. I think it's gonna be the big hit to Tony Stark. I think
But she eats gluten-free. She deserves to live.
But when we see Tony in the second trailer at that big news press thing, he's got the press all around him. He says, "This is just a good old-fashioned revenge." I believe she's dead. So I don't believe she gets her own suit. I just believe she's going to die. And I hope not, because I love the chemistry between them. But I do think that's the way it's going.
Man, but think how great that Iron Man suit would look with boobs. That'd be awesome.
Christopher Augustine writes, "Hey guys, I'm a new viewer. Not new, but new. I like the clarification. I love the show, and I was always looking for something like it to keep me up to date. Anyway, I was at the movies today, and in one of the previews, I saw The Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp, and I just wanted to know what you guys thought about the upcoming film."
A bird in the hand is worth my $10 in the theater. Yay! I can't wait. Seriously, his costume is enough to get me excited.
I have to admit, I have mixed feelings. Number one, I think the idea
Why?
of the Lone
What's
Ranger
wrong
movie
with you?
is great, and I love Armie Hammer.
Yeah, you should.
I totally fell in love with Armie Hammer as a performer in The Social Network. I think he's great.
He'd be kissing on Leonardo DiCaprio. I love it.
But I'm telling you, I'm having this problem. I'm trying to get past it, and maybe once I'm in the theater and the movie gets 5 minutes in, I will get past it. I'm having such a hard time of this white as snow, Caucasian, Euro dude playing this iconic Native American role, playing Tonto. Now, some people...
That's just reverse racism, John.
Some people...
Let the white people have some roles in Hollywood, okay?
We are such an underrepresented demographic. Here's the thing. Now, I've had some people say, well, no, wait, John, because I wrote this on Facebook a while ago, and I say, I got some problems with this iconic Native American role, one of the few that we have, and giving it to this Caucasian Anglo-Saxon actor. And people say, well, no, John, do you understand? Actually, Johnny Depp is Native American. He's part Native American. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I looked into it. No. Johnny Depp once claimed...
Don't nobody look at Johnny Depp and say how. Okay? Nobody thinks that Johnny Depp looks like that.
No,
I mean, we all
not
know
at all. But
he's a little ethnic for Hollywood. But
Sure.
I mean, that's as good as it gets.
I did
You're
some
right,
research.
he's a white guy playing a...
Once, Johnny Depp once claimed in an interview once that his great-grandmother was half Native American. Now, if true...
I once told a guy when I was trying to get him to ask me out on a date that I was an eighth Filipino. People will say anything.
But if that's true, let's say it's true. Let's say his great-grandmother was half Native American. As you go down the generations, that makes Johnny Depp 136th. 136th Native American. That doesn't qualify as Native American. So I got to tell you, I got a problem with this. And like I said, I hope I get over it. I hope once the movie starts, I just get it out of my head. But yeah, I got a problem with this.
Okay, Johnny Depp he's just great with characters.
He is.
So I believe that will happen for you
Yeah.
because you will slip into him playing Tonto and it will just wash over you like you're freezing to death in the snow.
Sure. And then
It's
Steve
gonna be
Carell can
amazing.
play Fat Albert and everything. will be fine.
David Detweiler writes, just found your show by dumb luck, and I'm so glad I did. I'm such a movie dork. I'm glad I can finally get my daily dose of movie news. So I know that Bradley Cooper is finishing up The Hangover Part 3 and is getting ready to do another David O. Russell movie with Jennifer Lawrence. Do you guys think we will see Bradley start to get ready for an A-Team 2? If not, why not?
No.
No. Well, and if for no other reason, I gotta admit, I'm actually one of the guys who I didn't mind the first A-Team movie.
liked it.
I thought it had its redeeming qualities, and I like Bradley Cooper's face. I thought he did a pretty faithful face Templeton.
Oh, I thought you just meant you just like his face.
I just like Bradley Cooper's face.
I like his face. I don't like
do
Johnny
too.
Depp's face.
I've actually been a big fan of Bradley Cooper ever since he was on Alias.
Yes.
Yes. And actually, Dennis, I'll bring up this picture of the first time me and I met Bradley Cooper, and I was just like, he was promoting some of the movie, and I didn't even want to talk about the movie. I just talked to him about his role in Alias all the time. Just, dude, you were the bomb in Alias. Anyway, but the director of A-Team, Joe Carnahan, in an interview in January of 2012, so just a little over a year ago, basically he shut the door and he said, no, there's not going to be an A-Team 2. It didn't do well enough, which is weird to think because it made like 170 million worldwide, but I think they were expecting like 250 million worldwide. He said there's not going to be a part 2, so...
They may decide to do it without him, but because it wasn't seen as incredibly successful, they probably won't even make the effort. Unless they start running out of even more things to make movies about, then maybe they'll make a movie about securing the rights to making the A-Team. That would be exciting, and then it would be like that friggin' Mary Poppins
That's
movie
right,
with Tom
Tom
Hanks
Hanks.
coming out. So yeah, and Bradley Cooper, he always brushes off those questions. Liam Neeson also is like, nope, Liam and
Neeson
nopers.
scares me. I'll be honest with you. I've
should.
interviewed him a couple times. He's the only actor I've ever interviewed that I actually feel intimidated sitting
Because he
around him.
could snap your neck
Yeah,
by looking at you, really. So he did that to wolves.
I know. So what
And
chance
I
do
got
have?
no offense, but wolves are much more scary
Yeah.
than you are. So Liam Neeson is not afraid.
All right, folks. Well, listen, we've run out of time. Let's stop what you're doing. Before you do anything else, click that subscribe button and subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news and, of course, our daily AMC Movie Talk show. And listen, if you want an audio-only version of this show, look in the description of this video and you'll find links to our iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AMC Theaters. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AMC Theaters. Like I said before, go out and see a movie tonight. Head on over to amctheaters.com for all your theater and showtime information, as well as your movie tickets. I want to thank, as always, our lovely host, Jenna Phillips.
Thank you so much.
I also want to thank our very special guest from Rotten Tomatoes. She's also a film critic over at CNN, and I think I'm just going to ask her just to move into the office and just like be on the show every day.
Actually, I brought my jammies and I brought all my face products and everything.
We're
So.
set. Miss Gray Dre. Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
Gray.
Since you're watching this at night, unpleasant dreams, everybody.
And thank you to you guys. Listen, don't forget, the most important part of the show is not what we have to say, it's what you have to say. Jump on down to the comments section, leave your thoughts on any or all the topics we talked about today. So, Until tomorrow, my name's John Campia for AMC Movie News. Bye-bye.